Hello USBGF Facebook friends, this is Phil Simborg. I'm at the ABT tournament in Cleveland, and this position came up in my match Thursday night in the pre-tournament. Red is on roll. What is the proper cube action here? Should red double? And if red doubles, should blue take or drop? The score, by the way, is 4-4 in a match to 7, so it's 3 away, 3 away. Take a look and decide what you would do. If you're red, would you double? If you're blue, would you take or drop? Okay, let me show you how I go about this process. If I was the red and I was thinking about doubling, the first thing I would do is I would ask what is the take point and what are the price of gammons. And at 3 away, 3 away, the live cube take point works out to about 25%. So I know that my opponent, blue, would need about 25% to take, and I know that the price of gammons after the cube is turned is about 0.5. It's about half as valuable as winning or losing the game. If you win the game, you get to Crawford, and if you win a gammon, you win the whole match. But the problem with gammons, and the reason they're not worth that much, is because you get 4 points for a gammon, and you only need 3 points to win the match. So half of the value of the gammons are lost. You don't really get full use of them. The first thing I always do is use Woolsey's law. If I'm red, I ask myself, if I'm blue, am I sure it's a take or am I sure it's a drop? And you go through that process. If you think it's a drop, then you should double, unless you think you're too good. If you're not sure if you should take or not sure if you should drop, then again you should double, because maybe he's not sure either, and maybe it's right on the edge. And if you're sure it's a take, then I look at market losers, and if I think I have too many market losers, I would double anyway. Well, in this situation, I had the unpleasant experience of being blue, and I had to decide whether to take or not because my opponent doubled me. So now how do I decide if I'm taking or not? I estimate my gammons. In this case, I estimated pretty well. Blue gets gammoned about 29% of the time. But I also give myself value for the gammons that I might win, and I might win gammons about 10% of the time. So that's about 19% gammon losses times 0.5. Let's just call it a net value of 10 gammon losses. Well, I know that my take point is 25, and if I add 10 to the 25, that means that I have to win this game 35% of the time in order to be able to take. I asked myself, can I win this game 35% of the time? I said, sure. Well, I was right. That's the good news. The bad news is I got gammon for the match and lost to a very fine player who was smart enough to double this, hoping that I would drop, because it's not even a double. But not by much. But according to Woolsey's law, it is a double, because I guarantee you some people would drop this cube. I'm sure some of you watching this video, as blue, would have said, I would not take this cube. But again, it would be a huge error to drop this cube. You have a big, big take. You win the game close to 40% of the time, and that's about 10% more than you needed net. Well, let's see. We needed 25 and 10, 35. Yeah, it's about 5% more than we needed net in order to take the cube. So big take. I can pat myself on the back while I go to sleep early because I lose the match. I did get to the finals of consolation about 1 o'clock in the morning and split, so I still got something out of my efforts. And I also really, honestly, feel much better about losing and making the right decision than winning with the wrong decision, because in the long run it's the right decisions that are going to get you to win more. But I just thought I'd give you a little insight into the doubling cube process over the board in a real life situation. This is how I do it, and I do it because this is the way I was taught myself from many very fine teachers, most importantly from Kit Woolsey himself, who taught me Woolsey's law, and it really, really paid off in a position like this. Because, again, even though my opponent was not necessarily right to double, it's a strong enough position to where if your opponent does play right and take, you still have a pretty strong position. You haven't given away too much if they don't drop. And if you do get a drop, just 10% of the time, it's more than worth it to double. Thanks. That's your tip of the day. Stay tuned. Stay loyal to the USBGF. If you haven't already clicked on you like this page, please do. It makes us look better to have higher numbers for attracting sponsors to the USBGF. Thank you. Bye-bye.